Okay, we are live on Facebook. Sorry, guys. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. We had some very strange technical difficulties, but now we are live. Welcome, everyone. Nice to see you again. Today, I have a special guest. Gabe Kubanda is a former touring musician and songwriter with over 70 published songs, transitioning into real estate via Airbnb and building up portfolio of furnished home and rental cars. Now a licensed real estate agent. Congratulations. Gabe plans to use his new skills to grow his brand and his investment strategy, all the while inspiring others like me to live their lives to the fullest. Gabe, thank you so much. Welcome.
Hi, Levy. Thanks for having me. I enjoy this. This is awesome.
My pleasure. You're the first person who I met at first MTR, and you were so welcoming, so friendly, so open-minded. So I appreciate you, the one who gave me this inspiration to stay in MTR world. So please tell us about your background, how you started in this journey.
Yeah, sure. Well, and first, was that Jesse Vasquez's
Correct.
first MTR summit? Yeah,
Yes,
that
in
was
San
really, really
Diego.
cool.
Yes,
Yeah,
correct.
that was very, very. I learned so much from there, and that's one of the reasons why I go to these conferences and these networking events. Is it's so crucial to get to know people in the industry that you're in, and to um, be around it and just kind of soaking it up. I learned so much when I'm at those things, and I encourage everyone to go to those conferences and meetups and networking events when you can. You never know who you're going to meet, or the friendships you'll meet. And it's awesome. But yeah, about myself, I guess I was always into music. I played music in high school in the jazz band. I was playing drums. I was horrible. Um, I tried to play drums in church and started to learn a little guitar and vocals, singing in the church choir and little drama productions and stuff. And I love music. My parents were kind of, closet musicians, jam band musicians from the 70s. Um, and so I kind of had a love of music from that and listening to old records in the house and stuff. Um, and so when I was trying to think of something to do in college, I thought I'd love to try my hand in music. And there was a music business degree at UCLA that they were offering. I think it was their first or second year. They were offering this music business degree. And so me and a buddy moved from Seattle down to LA, and ended up staying there for about 13 years in LA. Was in a bunch of rock bands, decided to start my own concert tour. And we took that around the world and have done over probably 800 shows or something all around the world with that. That was called Epic Proportions Tour, and we just had a blast. And then when COVID hit, our tour was supposed to launch down at South by Southwest, playing some shows there in Austin before we continued on with the rest of our tour. And in March of 2020, when COVID really hit and the lockdowns happened, of course, South by Southwest was the first festival to announce they were closing. And then after that, every single concert venue and club and festival that we had lined up was just knocking off, just cancel, 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 cancel. And so within a couple weeks, I was like, what are we going to do? I got to pay the bills. And we had stayed in Airbnbs. I dabbled in it a little bit before. I was thinking about doing Airbnb in between tours to kind of make money and supplement by renting out a room in the house. And so this was kind of that opportunity. It was like, there's nothing else to do. Let's try some stuff. And that's how my journey into real estate started, was literally turning our office in our house into a little room for rent. And when it kind of worked out to where when everybody else was shutting their Airbnbs down because they were afraid of COVID, I was opening up. And of course, I was always masked up and everybody was masked up and stuff. But that was my kind of just throwing myself in the fire and just figuring it out as I went. And I was hosting a lot of crazy people, a lot of people that were stranded because they couldn't go back to their own country because flights had
Mm-hmm.
canceled, a lot of nurses and doctors and medical techs that were there that were getting flown in to deal with post-COVID care and trauma and all this stuff. And so it was just like go. I had to figure out everything on the fly, make a ton of mistakes. And I learned from a lot of podcasts and YouTube channels of people that now we know and are friends with, in the industry.
Yes.
Um, and those guys really kind of helped guide me when I didn't have anything else to go on. I was just trying it out. And so
Were you
I did
afraid
that.
of any failures along the way, or were you embracing them?
Oh, yeah. I mean, of course, you're afraid when you're trying something new and you don't really know what you're doing. But, you know, if I let the fear prevent me from trying that and, I didn't do that, you know, I feel like that would be a life not worth living kind of a thing. You got to take risks, you got to take chances. And luckily I was in a place to where, I didn't have a full-time job. My full-time job was being on the road performing and running a concert tour. And so I literally had nothing else to do to dive in, 48 hours a day, And from there, I kind of realized I enjoyed it. I doubled down. I opened up another room in the house, started doing it more, realized we were making decent money. And then I had a chance to move to San Diego, where I've always wanted to be for a number of different reasons. And I really decided to double down here and kind of grow and then add cars to the platform and, kind of build out that way.
Yes, absolutely. I've been following you for a while now, and I see you have a new website that you built probably recently with even more property from what I know. So can you tell me about your experience with your property? What do you see is higher demand? Is it one bedroom? Is it two bedroom? Is it bigger houses? What is your experience?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's interesting because you get different properties that are needed for different things. I've got a couple large 4-bedroom houses that do very well with big families or people that are coming from overseas that want to spend a week. People that are coming from Europe and meeting people over here. So it's you get some bigger houses for those purposes. My studios and 1-bedrooms are always full because you always have single professionals coming for work, corporate workers, travel nurses, military people that, San Diego's a big Navy town. And so we get a lot of guys and gals off the boat, off the, a carrier or something where
Mhm.
they came back from deployment and they don't want to stay on a boat or in a stuffy hotel. They want a cool house environment. In fact, this house where I'm right now, this is a shared home to where there are a couple rooms being rented out and they can have the entire facilities, cook their own meals, jump in the hot tub, grill out back, enjoy, have a great neighborhood to walk around in. It's very safe, awesome neighborhood. And, they absolutely love it. Had a mural painted by a local artist on the wall. Uh,
Here we go. Now I
and
can see it.
yeah,
Nice.
and just, I like to do fun stuff, unique stuff. So I would
I know
say,
you gave me a tour of one of your or two of your units, I think, where you sitting right now, and then the one you got it there, uh, duplex, I call it,
mhm.
and it was amazing to see how you operate, how friendly you are with your cleaning lady was there with her daughter, I believe, and then how you operate your business. When you said shared room, are you hosting this on Airbnb or you also doing on split pad or other OTA platforms?
I haven't done split pad yet. I've talked with those guys a bunch, but I've never actually pulled the trigger.
Mhm.
Um, Mainly because most of mine are, I guess they're already booked up and they're doing well and they're kind of running automatically.
Mhm.
So why rock the boat? Um, you know,
Understood.
but I do have my direct platform. I am on all the other booking agencies as well. So I
Understood.
think that's something too. I notice a lot of people that I meet that I consult for, they start out on Airbnb, and then that's their only stream of income. And so if Airbnb is the algorithm's not running well, or there's something wrong with their property and they're not getting bookings, they're kind of like stuck with a bunch of empty days on their calendar. Whereas if you're on all the other platforms like VRBO and Booking.com and Expedia and TripAdvisor, or you're advertising on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok or whatever, you're going to be getting a lot more eyeballs on your properties and a lot more bookings. The flip side of that is that you have to deal with all these other platforms and dealing with their payment schemes and their tax situations and their rules and regulations. And so it's definitely a learning curve. But I think as people grow and they're adding properties, maybe they don't need it when they have 4 to 6 to 8 properties, but maybe they need it when they're getting upwards of 10 or something like that. They really need to kind of scale up and add some systems to
Yeah. I think
maximize.
one of the lessons that were learned throughout the COVID is that people should have their own websites when the people can come back and booked, because Airbnb was refunding back without asking hosts if it's okay, even though some hosts that had very strict policies, not to refund after 48 hours, for example. And I'm looking at your website, and I put the link in the comments as well. I see that you grew from 20 rentals to 24 last time I checked. How do you manage the short-term stays with the mid-term rentals calendar? How do you sync the calendar? How do you make sure that the short stay, 2-3 days, will not impact your mid-term staying reservation?
Yeah. So I have a couple systems that help me do that. One is I use a channel manager software called HostAway. There's a bunch of other ones, but if you just Google channel management software, you guys can check that out. A channel manager pretty much syncs up all your messaging and your calendars from all the different booking sites, whether it be Airbnb or Vrbo or your own direct sites or different ones. And so one, that really helps consolidate the calendar so you don't get double bookings or don't get screw ups like that. If someone books on VRBO, they can't book it on Airbnb. And then on top of that, you can build in some safeguards. I use a program called Price Labs. It's kind of like AirDNA, but it's Price Labs, and that helps do dynamic pricing. But in there, you can also say, hey, don't get any short-term bookings 2 months out in your calendar. Don't allow anything under 30 days or maybe 14 days or something like that, so that your calendar looks open and is open for these bigger bookings. Maybe it's a month-long booking. Maybe it's 3 months, 6 months. I have people staying for 7, 8 months sometimes that need a furnished rental. Maybe they're on a assignment out here for 6 months and they don't want to be in a hotel. They want to be in a nice house with a kitchen and stuff. So it leaves it open for those kind of people. And then you can, as the dates get closer and you still have open dates, you can kind of start filling those in with short-term rental stays.
I understand. Do you have any repeating customers, if you will, or clients that coming back to you and staying over and over? Because based on my experience, when I used to do Airbnb with my one room, I also started with one room in my house. Like people say, use what you have. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. So I used it what I had. I compromised with my wife, but long story short, I had so many repeating customers coming back to you. Do you see the same experience?
Yeah, exactly. Once people have a good experience, they want to relive that experience, And so I think that's where the importance of customer service and hospitality and just, having a really good nature and being a problem solver and not freaking out when things, aren't going well, or, having that type of mentality, that kind of hopeful for the future mentality, really helps people, customers and clients feel at ease. They always want to come back. Sometimes they want to try out a different property, And so a lot of times at the end of their stay, I'll say, hey, thank you guys so much. Save my number, shoot me a text if you want to come back. I'll give you a direct deal. I'll give you a better deal at any one of my 20, 24 properties and growing. And if you guys want to, try something new, let me know. We'll hook you up. If you want a car, you can rent one of those next time too. So it's kind of giving those little value adds, and just prompting them for the future.
So how do you make sure that this hospitality experience that you're talking about, it's consistent experience throughout the whole property that you have and throughout all guests that are coming to your place? Do you have any
Well,
system?
I think first off, it comes with setting the correct expectations. I
Mm,
have some properties that are more luxury based. I have some more that are economy based. If if the I would say the main thing that customers would or guests would have a problem with is not being informed of something ahead of time. So if you
communication.
have a property and you don't show that there's stairs up the walkway up to your house, um, some of them might book the property thinking, oh, there's no stairs, and I have a wheelchair. I need to get up those stairs, or I have a cane. Things, even basic things like that, like mobility. Um, if they're coming expecting that there are no stairs and there's a huge flight of stairs up to your door, that's going to provide a negative experience for them.
Mhm.
Um, if you're in a lower income part of town where maybe there's some homeless encampments, or there's some crime or something, you want to let people know that it's this type of environment and that's why the price is discounted. Or if you have gardeners coming in every Friday like we do here, and you let them know, hey, every other Friday we have the mow and blow guys coming doing the yard. Somebody doesn't want to be surprised at 6 a.m. They're trying to sleep in with all this noise. So that's what I mean by setting expectations properly. A lot of hosts try to overpromise and underdeliver. So the first bar that you want to set is just the right expectations, to where it's like you're promising exactly what you deliver. And if you're good, you're delivering more than what you promise.
Interesting you're saying that, because right now I'm reading a book called Unreasonable Hospitality. And this book, I mean, most of the time they're talking about a restaurant experience. And over there, he says the same thing. You want to under promise but over deliver. And the examples they give in the book is just mind blowing. I will not um, talk about what they're talking about in the book. I highly recommend to read the book. I'm still reading and I'm just blown away. I definitely agree with you. Communication is the most important part. Usually when people have problem, if you're honest and transparent about that and you're talking about that ahead of time, people will understand, they're willing to work with you, and then definitely give you 5 stars review. Speaking of stars 5 reviews, do you ask your guests when they're leaving to give you 5 stars review?
Yeah, I do. I always do. Even if there's a problem, people are so generous if you're upfront with them.
Hmm.
People are so willing to, understand, because we're all humans. We all make mistakes. We know things break. Some things happen that are out of our control. Um, but if you're willing to communicate responsibly and timely, and try to help with their problems, uh, you know, they're still gonna they're still gonna have a good experience regardless, even if something negative happened. If you're there with them and you're helping them, out. So I think having that proper communication and really being able to timely address their issues, is really good. I also do a few other things, like sometimes um, I have on all the refrigerators, I have a little fact sheet of um, the Wi-Fi codes and certain little things that they might like to know, restaurants that are in the area and stuff. And we also have like a little rating showing how to rate the property. So it's like, hey, if there was some no major issues and you enjoyed your time and the host was responsive, 5 stars. You know,
Beautiful. You set up expectation, you change the mindset, you're already preparing them what's going to be at the end. I love it. And I interview Christian from Buffalo, right? Um,
I like that
he's
guy.
oh, yeah, I like this guy as well. He's doing a lot of co-hosting just like you. And I asked him, how do you convince uh, landlords or the owners of the properties to give you the property? And he gave me his answer. I would like to hear your point of view. How do you convince people in San Diego, I guess, to give you the property?
Yeah, I'm sure it's pretty similar. I know it's kind of interesting, especially if you're going into co-hosting, where you're literally telling the owner that you want to manage his property, and you're not guaranteeing that it's going to be booked or any money is going to come out of it, right? There has to be something in it for them. I know when I was first starting out, when I was first introduced to co-hosting in a different way, I was trying to do the rest. I was doing more of the rental arbitrage method, which is where, if people don't understand, it's you are asking to pay the rent. You want to be the tenant of record at a place, but then you want to have the right to sublet it, turn it into an Airbnb or an MTR or something. And, you know, what is the owner's, why would they ever want to allow you to do that? Well, the owner just wants to get their rent checked. They want the utilities paid. They want the house in good standing. They want it to be in rent-ready condition when somebody moves out, so that they can get somebody else in. They just want their property to be maintained and to get their rent. And so if you can come in, and if you're doing rental arbitrage, basically you're kind of saying, hey, listen, I'm going to pay your rent. I'm going to keep your property in really great condition. I'm going to improve your property. I'm going to put in security. Maybe you're going to do keyless entry locks, so that guests don't have physical keys that they can copy or steal. You're going to have cameras installed. You're going to be checking on them. You're going to be making sure that the hot tub is always balanced and it's always clean. You're going to make sure the grill is clean. You're going to make sure people aren't, any damage that happens, you're going to take care of it, and battle on the owner's behalf for you. And I would actually start going to open houses. And I actually went to one open house where the owner was actually there. And I explained to him what I wanted to do with rental arbitrage, saying that, hey, I want to rent this place out. It had two units on it, a front and a back. I said, I want to take both, because he was renting them separately. I said, I'll take both of them. I'll pay you. You don't have to worry about, me, squatting and not paying rent. You're always going to get it from me. So dealing with it like that. And he goes, wait a second. So you mean you're going to make money on top of what? You're going to make more money than I am on this property? I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, well, I want to do that. I was like, well, you can. He's like, well, I don't know how to. Do you want to show me? And I was like, well, hey, why don't I just host it for you? I'll show you some of the ropes and show you kind of what my process is. But, you're also going to have that risk of not having that consistent rent every single month. I'm not paying your rent. That's on you, but I will manage it for you, and I will make sure you get more money. And so he was willing to take a chance, and we're still friends to this day. He gave me another property of his to manage, and we have a great relationship, and we're actually looking for more properties, investment properties for himself that I would also manage.
So Gabe, sorry, go ahead, finish. Go ahead.
So if you can really, again, kind of just set those expectations on the owner's side as well for co-hosting, and then over deliver, where they're actually like, wow, this guy's doing a great job. He's really improving my property. He's really keeping it bumping. He's taking care of all the problems for me. I don't have to deal with much. That really, really, helps. And I think that's what's enabled me to grow and scale a lot quicker than maybe other people, is to be able to turn those conversations, improve, and then get more properties under my belt because of that relationship.
So 2 questions about that. Question number 1, if you don't mind sharing, how do you negotiate with the landlord in terms of split of the revenue? And then question number 2, let's say you just said that you're going to show him how to do it hospitality wise and so forth. You're not afraid that after a year he just going to say, Gabe, thank you so much, now I know what to do, see you later? So how do you address those 2 questions?
Well, for the first one, I'm not too worried about it, because I feel like once the owner sees all that I'm doing and sees all the work that really,
goes into this,
goes into it, that he's like, whoa, that's too much. I'll just let him deal with it. like I don't want to be answering my phone at midnight, dealing with guest inquiries and all this kind of stuff. And it's funny though, I have had some owners go, oh, I think I'm going to just do it from now on. And then they realize the headache that it is, like, oh, I don't want to pay that commission. I want to keep that for myself. But there's a reason what that commission is for. It's to take that headache away from the owner, so that they don't have to deal with all this BS. And once they start dealing with it, they're like, whoa, this is a lot. Okay. I want somebody else to deal with it.
It's worth it, the commission. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, and then with negotiation, you want to have good faith in both parties. If you get some owners that are just super stingy and they don't want to keep their properties up or keep the, if they don't see the value in it, or they don't see the value in what you do, just, you kind of want to avoid that bullet. You don't want to kind of invite that hectic problem in. They say that the owners are the worst guests, and you'll definitely understand that. Owners will be booking the rooms for their own personal use, their kids, their family, their friends. Maybe they're taking up every single holiday for their family and friends, and then they wonder why the pricing is not as good. It's like, well, you took all the good dates. That's what's going to happen, So you have to have these honest conversations. And I think part of my role is explaining to the owners, like, this is how it's going to go. Like, hey, if you book up Thanksgiving, New Year's, and Christmas, and July 4th and Halloween and Memorial Day, you're missing out on all this extra revenue that you could have had. And that's fine. It's your property. It's your investment. You can do that. That's fine. You can go in. I give them access to the calendar. They can block it off, but just know that you're kind of leaving a lot of money on the table.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of education along here with that.
Yeah. Education, communication, openness, trust. I love it. How do you balance between your music that you love and managing your property? Like, do you have a VA that take care of your properties?
Yes. I and this is another thing I wanted to tell people, especially people that are starting out. I think one of the big mistakes that I did, that I didn't do early on, is getting a virtual assistant or getting some help when I had 10 properties, and I was like needing to implement those people and getting good system operating procedures, standard operating procedures in now, SOPs, SOPs in early, because when I got up to 20, I'm doing managing everything internally for the most part, and it's been difficult to put those people in place now. Now I'm doing that, and I'm going through the headache, and it's starting to work out really well, where I have a couple of VAs that are handling things for me. I've got some more on-site help, so I'm not running around dealing with little things all the time. And I see the light at the end of the tunnel, where I'm going to be able to kind of pull back, focus more on what I love to do, which is more of, getting back into music, releasing some songs, recording, playing live shows again, doing more acquisitions with the real estate side of things, that maybe we can get into on the next thing, because I think we're probably running out of time soon.
Yep.
But yeah, and so I want to get back to that. I did record a couple songs last year. I want to put them out soon. I think there's some of my best work, some of my best lyrics and ideas and thoughts that I'm really excited about. But also just growing my company and my brand. I was always, as a musician, I was always interested in artists like Jay-Z and Kanye, and bands that had their own clothing line brands or cologne brands or alcohol brands. And so I feel like this is kind of my extension of myself. It's my kind of investment portfolio. It's kind of my other thing that I can still call my own. It's an extension of me.
Are we getting scoop here that Kubanda cologne is coming or something?
Yeah, Kubanda cologne.
Who knows?
You heard it here, folks.
I'm telling you, each guest who gonna book in the next 24 hours gets Kubanda cologne.
Venmo me $500. Everybody Venmo me, and
easy,
yeah,
right?
we'll get it going.
I know recently you got your real estate license. What was the thinking behind getting your license? Because, up until now, you had all those properties without having the real estate license. What was the mindset there?
Yeah, as I grew, and I'm wanting to add, investment properties on my own as opposed to just managing for other people, and kind of being able to make all the decisions and really, create a spaces that are just uniquely mine. Um, I was like, I think the quickest way to do that is to get my real estate license so that I can really source my own deals, find unique properties that are off the market or before they hit the market, or maybe
Hmm.
even expired listings that agents couldn't close for their sellers. And maybe I can offer an alternative suggestion to these owners, these sellers. And I just really am interested about the whole inner workings. It's such a black magic type of thing behind the scenes of what it goes on. And so I thought that would be something cool that I could add to my own portfolio, not just for myself, but perhaps in the future to um, uh, uh, loan these
Potential.
skills to my friends and family and other investors, and maybe broaden that horizon, and maybe even have Kubanda Investments
Yeah.
or Kubanda Capital or Kubanda Realty or something in the future.
Let's stick with Cabana Cologne for now. How about that? No, I'm joking. No,
I wonder what that
absolutely.
would smell like.
You decide, man. You're the artistic guy, right? I'll trust you there. Um, Definitely, in stock market, you cannot do inside the information trading. But when you're a real estate agent, right, there are pocket listings that you can get information before it goes to the market. And if you can be proactive and you see it fits your criteria, fits your brand, blah, 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 you can always act upon it and see if you can add it to your portfolio. What are the challenges right now in your business that you wish there was a magic wand and you can just do and everything disappears? I mean, this
Well,
challenge.
I would say challenge overall is I think the state of the economy is very
Mm,
uncertain for most people, and you. I see people getting very depressed with a lot of the job layoffs that are happening, wars and rumors of wars, and all this stuff going on, border issues, other countries defaulting
mhm.
on their payments. Um, just a lot of unrest and a lot of unhappiness for just myriad of reasons, right? And so I feel like that has impacted travel a lot over the last couple of years. You've probably heard of the
Yep.
Airbnb bust that everyone
Yep.
is touting. That never really happened, but a lot of people, it scared them so much that they kind of got out. A lot of regulations that happened with all the cities when it comes to short-term rentals. Some cities just flat out banned
Yeah.
Airbnbs and short-term rentals in certain communities. Some didn't. Some had a ton of taxes and restrictions put on. I know here in our city, a bunch of restrictions happened, and we had to deal
Yes.
with those. So there is a lot of uncertainty, but I really feel like if you have that hopeful outlook and you're not just complaining or just whining about everything all the time, if you're able to say, hey, I can't control everything that's going on in my country or my city, but I can control my own emotions, my own outlook, and I can try to make things better for myself and my family and my neighborhood. What does that look like? Can I start my own business? Can I start a side hustle? Can I do something unique with the skills that I have? It's funny that you said that earlier on. It's like, use what you got, use what you have. It's like, yeah, if you have a house and you're struggling to pay the mortgage, you can you can clear out one bedroom and turn it into Airbnb for a little time, and just to catch up on your rent or your mortgage or whatever. If you have an extra car, you can Turo it, or you can uh, drive on Lyft or Uber. You can find ways of using whatever skills you have right now to make a little extra income to grow something for your own, and so that you're thinking about the future as opposed to just complaining about the present. I think that's what it comes down to.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Control your own destiny. Do what you think is the thing you need to do and just do it. Thank you so much. I love it. Next question that I have for you. I know most of your properties they are in San Diego. Do you look at do you do any research right now for new markets that you're excited, or maybe new opportunity that you're thinking to explore?
Yeah, I really am, man. There's a lot of stuff happening in Southern California right now that I think is super exciting. Um, in Chula Vista, if you guys are local, there's a huge resort going in there, and water park, and tons of commercial stuff happening. Um, it's going to be amazing. So I think that that area is kind of blowing up right now. All the little cities and towns, some of the lower income places are coming up right now. All these older homes are getting
Hmm.
revamped. There's a lot of potential for doing really amazing work there. Um, I'm super excited with Mexico as well. There's a lot of investment opportunities for Mexican citizens if you still have your and Mexican American citizens if you have both
Hmm.
citizenships. There's such a great crossover over the border of people coming and going um, that I want to invest in more in Mexico as well and partner with people that are Mexican citizens. Um, I was just in Thailand and Istanbul, and there's a lot of investment opportunities over there in Dubai. We were in Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia last year looking at properties. Um, like the world can be your oyster if you have that
If
mindset, but it's that mindset. If you're not cultivating that and you're just complaining all the time or doing nothing with your life, you're going to stick in this tiny little bubble and you're not going to grow. And I think that's something that I've always tried to hammer on. Um, Even when I was in music and we were going out and doing all these musical education things with our nonprofit, talking to music students in schools and colleges, telling them like, you got to get out there, you got to experience the world, do not stay in your little tiny little bubble. Uh, if you have negative thoughts, watch some YouTube videos on how to curb those.
yes,
Join a mastermind, join a group to help yourself and grow. um, do something, do anything.
yes, absolutely. I love it. I didn't know that Chula Vista has such a big thing coming up. I need to talk to you where we can take advantage of opportunities, be ahead of the curve.
Yes.
In regards to mindset, actually, I have a visual board here, and actually, recently I reread the book called Mindset, right? And there is a growth mindset and fixed mindset. And what you're talking about, it's the growth mindset, right? Always a challenge, always grow. Don't say, oh, poor me, or whatever the situation. See how you can take the opportunity and grow from it. Absolutely. Um, Gabe, anything else you would like to discuss about MTR? If somebody never started, do you have any suggestion, any recommendation? Oh, sorry,
Yeah.
we have 1 minute left.
Oh
Go
no.
for it. I don't know.
Real
It just
quick
popped
for
up.
for,
Yep.
for MTR, go to furnishfinder.com. You can also use Airbnb for 30-day or more stays. MTR means you can't rent under 30 days in a lot of cities, but you can rent a furnished house over 30 days. So that's a little window there. A lot of travel nurses, corporate workers, insurance relocations. Get in with the insurance guys. There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot to learn if you want to get into that industry, but there's a lot of content out there on YouTube. Um, and there's just a wealth of information. So, and if I'm always available for consultations as well for people that are looking to get into the STR MTR space. You can always find me at kubandaproperties.com, Gabe Kubanda on all the socials, or
What about
Kubanda
music?
Properties. And as well, go to Spotify, YouTube, Gabe Kubanda. I released a new song last year called Working on Me that's talking about working on myself and
On yourself.
growing as a person and just getting it done.
Actually, I have 13 minutes left. It says here. Please remember your current plan allows studio session for maximum 1 hour. So they changed the rules again. So we're good. If you have a couple more minutes, I would like to continue our conversation.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah, we can
Yeah,
stay for another like 5-10 minutes, 5 minutes maybe. Yeah.
5 minutes. Okay, absolutely. Just quick comment. You saw. What is the name of your song again? Working on myself.
It's called Working on Me.
Working on me.
Working on
Um,
me.
Robert Kiyosaki says when you point your finger at somebody, three fingers are pointing back at you. So you need to work on yourself first. Yes, exactly, right? Before you can tell somebody, hey, it's you, it's not me, blah, blah. So I would like to listen to your song for sure. Hopefully, this is the topic of your song.
Yeah,
You
exactly. I was really trying to. It's kind of an interesting song. I was also trying to explain like why I kind of got off Instagram and the socials for a while, just to kind of like focus on myself and grow, and not
interesting.
really be bothered with just all the myriad of just content stuff just coming at you all the time, right? It's just like there's too much. And at the time, I just really needed to focus and um, plow ahead and develop this company and stuff. Um, and so, it was kind of like, hey, this is where I'm at. This is where I've been. This is where I'm going.
Mm,
And it's okay to kind of take a step back from what you were doing and not feel like you have to post on Instagram every single day, 5 times a day to get your numbers and all your, streams and all this stuff. And to not be visible all the time. You can still be working and not be visible. And I realized when I did that, I felt so much more happier and so much more content when I wasn't trying to play that content creator game of just producing content for content's sake. I want to produce content when it's relevant and it helps people and it's growing your business and stuff. And I'll start doing that more in the future as well. But at that time, I was just like, you know what? You got to focus on yourself. You got to make sure you're okay before you can help other people. What they say in the airlines, anytime you're in airlines and they're taking off, they put your face mask on first, then you help the child, right? Then you put
correct.
the face mask on the person next to you. It's like, if you're not breathing, you're passed out. You can't help the person, the one that needs your help the most, the one that's
100%.
less fortunate than you, the one that can't reach. So it's like us as Americans, as humans around the world, we need to take care of ourselves first, get ourselves right, then start helping others. And so
Amen.
that's kind of the message.
Amen, brother. Amen. Agree 100%. Gabe, you mentioned that, go and educate yourself. Where do you get your information up to date, right? Any YouTube channels, any books, any podcasts, as well as do you have any coach or mentor that you're working with?
Man, I'm such a fan of YouTube University. You can really get started and become dangerous with a little bit of knowledge that way. Um, so I started listening to all these, guys that we know now,
Mm-hmm.
Jesse Vasquez and Tony and Sarah Robinson, and
Mm-hmm.
um, just all these kind of gurus that we kind of learned about in the space. Um, I'm a big fan of Bigger Pockets and Rob Built and all these guys, right? I
Yeah.
just joined Bigger Pockets to learn more about that and to kind of be involved in that community. Um, Going to networking events, finding local meetups, those are really great ways to learn. I haven't done a mentorship program yet, but I think I want to as I'm scaling up. And so I'm kind of like seeing what I should do on that
Yeah,
front.
yeah.
I haven't jumped in yet. But
You may,
YouTube
yeah,
University
go ahead. You
is
too,
the way.
you too. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. You owe me a visit to my monthly
I
meetup
do.
about cash flow 101. So the next one coming
I do.
September 5th, I
Oh
will
yeah.
be more than happy to host you, to welcome you, myself and my co-host Michael Zhao. We provide so much value. Oh, 1 hour we do the training. Basically, Michael is speaking about anything going on in the market, and he's a very knowledgeable guy. And then we play cash flow 101, the way that nobody else probably playing. We're not following the rules according to the game board. We're following the rules according to the real life. Michael will come in and say, okay, you cannot buy your own property. You must do co-hosting, or you must do wholesaling, or you must come with somebody, and so forth. So I hope to
Cool.
see you in my next meeting. It's going to be amazing.
I'll be
Um,
there.
I appreciate. Um, I think I'm done. Unless you want to say something else or add something that I did not ask you, you're welcome to do that.
No, just people can check out my properties if they want to book a rental or book a vacation. A lot of times I'll give a discount
I was
for,
about to
you
say,
know,
mention my name, Levy, and then you'll get
yeah,
discount.
mention Levy's name. 50% discount if you mention
Yes,
Levy.
exactly.
Especially if they buy, rent a vacation rental and a vehicle, we kind of do bundle deals. got some new properties we're launching soon. So yeah, there's just going to be a lot of cool things happening. And, of course, I would love to see you guys in person and give you guys the tour in person. So yeah, thanks for having me, Levy. Thanks for
My
providing this
pleasure.
channel. I think
Absolutely.
I love watching your channel and the guests that you have on, really creating some great content for people and
I
guidance.
appreciate it. More surprises are coming. Thank you so much for giving this opportunity to me. I appreciate you there for me, helping me, guiding me. Any phone call I have, you just right there for me. So looking forward to see you again. Let's have lunch very time soon. We had a couple more to come. Have a great weekend, everyone, and talk to you soon. Bye.
Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye.